Now to a 12 News I-Team exclusive. A former high-ranking Goodyear Police lieutenant is fighting to get his job back.
The I-Team first showed you details about a 2017 incident the former lieutenant described as training for the SWAT team. But the department said that it could not be tolerated. As
Team 12's Bianca Bono shows us, Goodyear officials say that's not the only reason the city fired the commander. Bianca?
Guys, Joe Pacello was a leader in the department, the third highest ranking employee in charge of the SWAT team and disciplining and training officers. But he was fired in March because of how he treated a fellow officer outside of work.
She told me she was scared of him.
This is one of former Goodyear police officer Jamie Cole's neighbors talking to an investigator about Cole's relationship with Joe Pacello.
Quite a few times she brought her children over to my house because she was scared for their safety.
Pacello was married and had been having an affair with Cole, but by 2019 they were breaking up. And the city said that one incident this neighbor witnessed is part of the reason Pacello lost his job.
Actually yelling and screaming at her and trying to push the door open, and he would constantly come around and harass her.
All I ever wanted was to continue to work my job and not be harassed.
I didn't call the police because she is the police, and I didn't want to cause her any issues.
But during an appeal hearing, while making a case to get his job back, Pacello said the neighbor misunderstood.
I went to open the security screen door, but it was locked, and the interior door I noticed was closed. So at that point, I then rapped on the door several times and double-checked the door.
Were you screaming and yelling outside of her residence at that time?
No.
He said he then went through her garage and walked inside through an unlocked door, something he said he did frequently.
And that's when I raised my voice and said, hey, what? I'm standing outside, you know, you knew I was coming. I'm looking like an idiot out there.
Pacello said he has a loud voice and often uses curse words, so it was nothing out of the ordinary. But Goodyear's police chief and deputy chief said it was problematic.
This would come out with a two-officer response.
Because of that and another incident 2 years prior.
But it turned into like this whole, handcuff, use of force, handcuff, putting a hood over my head.
When Cole was blindfolded and handcuffed by Pacello at his house, then brought to a bathtub filled with ice water to dunk her face, they elected to terminate him. Cole came forward with the allegations in August of last year. Chandler police launched a criminal investigation, while DPS was brought in for an internal affairs investigation. No charges were filed, but Pacello was fired in March. Pacello's attorney, Catherine Bailey, argued Cole reported the incidents because she's a, quote, scorned woman. Upset Pacello didn't leave his wife for her.
Now she's left the agency and she throws a bombshell and leaves.
Goodyear city attorneys argue it wasn't Cole who was jealous. Rather, Pacello wanted her back.
It's not easy knowing someone else has the woman I love.
Attorney Steve Coleman reading from an email Pacello sent Cole just 2 months before she came forward, and more than a year after their relationship had ended.
And most of all, love with all my heart, despite you having moved on.
Pacello and his attorney believe termination is too harsh for the 16-year police veteran, arguing he deserves to get his job back.
There's no way I got due process here.
And the hearing officer will review the testimony from this appeal and make a recommendation to the city manager, who will ultimately decide whether to uphold Pacello's termination or allow him to go back to work for the police department. Bianca Bono, 12 News.